Hello and welcome back to another Good Game Nation video where we bring you everything TCG. Hi, my name is Sam and I'm back with another One Piece episode, and we are here with another installment of Meta Wednesday. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm so far behind. I'm releasing this on Wednesday because I didn't release anything on Monday. That's on me. Showing a little love to Chainsaw Man. Let me know in the comments. You guys watch him? Did you guys watch yesterday's episode? What do you think? Who's your favorite character? Is it Makima? Tell me why it's Makima. Alright, guys. So for Meta Wednesday today, what we do is we cover decks that have either done well in tournaments and were posted. We go through Twitter, we find some of the coolest decks, and we share them to you. Share our thoughts, share what we like, share what tech we really are interested in, and go over why we thought this deck was successful. Let's get into it. We have some pretty cool stuff here, I think. All right, we have our first deck here today at handle Venny JP. He went 5-6-0 with this purple deck here. And here is the dev link. All of the Twitter accounts, of course, and dev links are going to be linked down below. So if you want to look at them a little longer, check out the tweet, check out the guy's account, you're more than welcome to. So we have a Kaido list. First thing that jumps out, nothing too crazy, I think. I think this is a Kaido list that I think we're going to see more of. There might be small variations, but I think this might be the more cleanest Kaido list. It's got a little bit of everything. I think the thing I'm missing the most is I'm curious why none of these 7-drop Kaidos. Or the 7-drop Kings, sorry. My first thought is maybe it's local. Maybe there's not a lot of green or red players. Those are the players that you normally would take advantage of when you play that king. Maybe the local tournament's more purple-blue. That would make sense playing this king. This king ruins most blue and purple cards. A lot of annoying cards that count. So that could be the reason. But it is 4 kings no matter what. If you do 3 and 1, which is I think what I enjoy to do. It's always 4 kings, so that count is correct. We're seeing 4 ultis again. This ulti is probably not going to be played. It's just there for combo power, and it's probably going to stay that way. Ulti, this is the mana ramp that I think has been most successful. On play 1 mana. It doesn't cost anything in your hand. Its downside, it doesn't have counter, but I think that's okay for the speed and not sacrificing a card in your hand like Jack. I think that is the trade-off, and I think it's correct. I like the 1 Douglas bullet. I think we probably cut an ulti for this. I think that's the correct call. I think a couple of Douglas bullets is going to be the way forward. Maybe not necessarily for a double strike, but being able to tap a couple character cards and removing them that turn, controlling the board in a different way than hypothetically forcing to bull the board through Kaido. Douglas Bullet's another way to do that through clearing. Furuki Juju. I butchered his name just now. I am so sorry. Long ears. This is a card that I definitely have played before. It's definitely a card that I like going forward. It's a ton of power early on, and your opponent's going to have to dump a lot of resources probably to remove it, just for you to replace it with a Kaido. So it's going to be painful through that curve for your opponent. And Uda. Uda is another card we have to highlight. This is an amazing blocker. Purple decks are probably going to be playing this card from now on. All you have to do for purple is really stall just to get to your late game, and Uda makes that very, very successful. Extra cards, we're going to continue seeing for Blast Breath. Play Blast Breath if you're playing purple. Its downside is not really a downside for purple, and plus 4,000 for 1 Dawn is amazing. Thunder Balga is probably the best next purple card. We like Ultimortar here, but for this list, just to ramp, you're going to want to play Thunder Balga. He's not playing 4, so you don't have to drop down to 2 life really quickly, but it is an option, and its trigger effect is probably one of the key reasons it's here. 16 blockers, again, slowing the deck down, slowing the game down to get you to your late drops, because no one can contest purple and late except other purple. So there's that. Very exciting Kaido list. Thank you so much for sharing. I expect to see lists similar to this going forward. This seems to be the winning formula. Let's move on. And we have my favorite list to cover today is a red-green Luffy. This is one of very few that I had seen, and especially since I just did a profile. I'll link it here. It's very exciting to see another like deck of the same leader, same type, and it's pretty different, I think. So let's get into it. One of the immediate things we have to recognize is they not gave up, but we dropped a lot of the rush. I was still running the Rush Zoro. I'm still running the Super SR Luffy, which he is as well. We have dropped most of the Rush. We also don't have Drake as well. We've replaced that with the vanilla Straw Hat Luffy. It is Supernova and Strahd, so you're able to search this with Bonnie and Nami. You'll notice that it's also 48 cards. These two cards are flipped. I'm not sure what they are. Well, we can still review it without it. We can pretend maybe. Cards that are exciting. I like seeing this Tony Chopper. This is a card that I think is a weird card for Red, considering Red wants to be very aggressive, but slowing the game down just a little bit, you can get great effects like this. There's a ton of good cards you can pull out of your trash. This Luffy is a 2K combo. You can always pull a Nami out to do another search if they have a lot of annoying blockers. Nico Robin's very powerful as well. And they have to answer this Tony. They can't let this one attack twice or cycle a couple more cards. They have to deal with this Tony Chopper. So it probably will get this effect once. 4 of these laws jumped at me as well. I'm not exactly sure what we're swapping out for. There's not a card with... That's the reason I was playing these, was to swap out and then play a rush card and maybe get a cool combo with my Luffy. But if we're returning a card to our hand, it's probably going to be an on-play effect. We're probably bouncing Nami. We're bouncing Otama. That has been the key bouncers for this deck and for the law. That's what we bounce to get it off a couple more times. It's the card that we play I find to be the most interesting here. We're probably setting up Nico Robin. We're probably safely getting in maybe a blocker as well. The targets for this law seem interesting. If I were to play it, I probably would change that count. Or maybe those are the 2 cards that we don't see. Maybe they are 2 Zoros. If there are 2 Zoros, if that's the card you decide to add if you want to try this, I think that makes the law a little more effective. Everything else, the counts don't seem too crazy. Radical Beam and Jet Pistol are the 2 red extra deck cards that we're going to continue to see. They have the most value. Jet Pistol has crazy amount of targets. Cards that this deck will struggle against as well. Those key blockers, Jet Pistol removes, so don't be afraid to use it. We're seeing 2 of the useless Captain Kids, of course. If you're playing green, you're probably playing 1 or 2 of these, just because of the sheer power of it. Everything else I think is pretty standard. I like seeing this Luffy. It's a 2K combo with also a 7K attack potential. It's it's a great card, I think. Nothing else is really jumping out. It's just nice to see this leader in this position. It makes the meta and the flow of the game always open for change. So shout out to this player. Shout out to this Luffy. This deck is awesome. Let me know if you guys try this one. And for the last deck of the day, we have a blinged out starter Luffy deck. It is so cool, and let's just get right into the dev link. I copied it just so we could see the swag that he was running. We had alt art Shanks. We had all of the promos that we saw in the box. I'll link that in the news as well. If you haven't seen those, they are so cool. It makes me wonder if he played some of these cards just for the art. This is the promo Luffy that we've seen for the Super Pre-Release and the first tournament packs. He's a little expensive. You need 6 mana to play and then 2 as well to add Rush. We're not playing any of the Mover Namis in this list, so it's just this Straw Luffy effect, so let's say 1. So you'll need 7 just to activate this. It's a little expensive, but the one-off might surprise your opponent, so super cool surprise factor. It's very interesting to see this Brook. Give up to 2 of your opponents minus 2 that kick power. It is a jacked up version of Otama. He does require an attack. However, he is a 4-drop, so it's kind of difficult to remove him. You're going to need, a king or a hypothetical jet pistol. This isn't your normal jet pistol target, so I can't imagine Brook eating one of those. But another cool potential, another great way to optimize your jet pistol. So this is a really cool and interesting card as well. I'm wondering what the meta was in his local environment that required this. 8K power is essentially everything besides a couple Kaidos. So that could be it as well. Red does lack clear. So Brook and Jet Pistol give him that, and it's easier to defend Brook, I think, since he is a 5k. Your opponent will have to really want to kill him, assuming you want to keep your Brook alive to keep spamming Jet Pistols. Keep that in mind. It's pretty cool card if you want to try that out and optimize Jet Pistol differently. 4 of the starter Luffy, 4 again of these promo Luffys, a good defensive card with a strong offensive option. Great card. I think red should definitely, at least mono red should definitely be running this Luffy at a 4 count, I'd imagine. And then 2 Barts. Another card that I don't think we featured in Meta Monday before. Dawn times 2 on your opponent's turn. This card gains 3k. So early on, he is a 5k blocker. Red doesn't have a ton of really strong blockers. You know, it's just the standard chopper. So Bart gives us that option to slow down. We are playing a slower red deck, I don't know if we can gauge that, but it's very defensive. It clears a lot, so we're trading more effectively, and we're playing to our late win condition, which it is going to be Shanks. We're playing 3 of this guy in this list. That is definitely the most I've seen. A 9-drop 10k, very, very difficult to remove. Nay, he might just stick. You might not get him removed. Really, really cool. A couple Sabonis, a card that has fallen out of favor. But again, this whole deck, besides the Shanks and the Bart, are Straw Hat, so the card has value. You also could pull all of your event cards as well. So you have tons of options with the Saboti. Then the Activate Trigger main effect, very, very good. Then 3 Jambes. So we are attacking, we're making sure those attacks count. This is probably going to be used on your leader. Your main attackers already have this effect, kinda. Shanks and Luffy, your starter deck Luffy. So this is probably a leader plus Zoro use. Again, a really cool trigger effect as well. So I see no radical beams. This is because we are playing slower. We're defending more. We're being a little more safe with our lives. So that's why I don't think we see radical beam here. And then 1 Gumhub Red Hawk. This seems a little random, but it's hard to counter this card. It's hard to argue against it. Again, we're playing a slower deck. We're trying to protect cards, and this is a good way to protect cards. We defend 1 and then we KO 1. Strong. I wonder why it's not a higher count, if that is the reason. I probably would play it a little higher just to protect some of our more vulnerable cards. Then again, really cool. I love seeing this Brook. It's a card that we have not gotten to feature, so it's very exciting to see it. Same thing with the Sanji. The Sanji definitely got a lot of attraction. It's a 2k combo. He has the potential to get really strong, get really big. You're taking life from your deck. Another reason why we don't want to hypothetically take a bunch of life to get a really strong Radical Beam is we're able to activate the Sanji effect. And then he's getting 2k power and then getting an additional 2 Rested Dawn. So he's getting 4k power, making him a 7k 4-2. Red is these really small drops that are able to put out this damage. So cards to be aware of, combos to be aware of. And I think it's optimized really well in this red deck. It's really cool, very unique. And glad we got to feature it on Meta Monday. And that would be the 3 lists that we have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which deck was the most interesting. Are we going to try one of these decks? Which one are we going to try? Are we going to try that red-green Luffy? Are you like me and haven't played a ton of that leader, so you're kind of excited to give it a shot? Let me know down in the comments, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.